Most people are taught from a young age to chase money as if it is the goal itself. Get good grades, get a stable job, earn a paycheck, repeat. On the surface, this sounds logical, even safe. But this mindset quietly traps people in a loop where effort is mistaken for progress. Money feels like the mission, so every decision becomes about short-term gain instead of long-term value. When money is the target, fear controls your choices. You avoid risk, you avoid learning uncomfortable skills, and you cling to whatever pays you today, even if it limits you tomorrow. Money is not a purpose, it is a signal. It is a measurement of how much value you are delivering to other people at scale. When you focus directly on the signal instead of the source, you distort your behavior. You start optimizing for appearances rather than impact. You choose jobs that look impressive but teach you nothing. You chase quick wins instead of durable systems. Over time, this leads to exhaustion because you are always running but never compounding. When you build something valuable, money shows up as a side effect. This is how reality actually works. People don't pay you for how hard you tried or how long you worked. They pay you because something you created solved a problem, saved time, reduced friction, or opened new possibilities. The more people your work can help, the more valuable it becomes. That is why ownership, leverage, and skill matter more than hours worked. A single well-designed system can outperform years of repetitive labor. Chasing money keeps you reactive. Building value makes you proactive. When your goal is value creation, you start thinking differently. You ask better questions. What problem is worth solving? What skill will still matter in 5 years? What can I build once and improve over time instead of starting from zero every day? This mindset shifts your focus from survival to strategy. Instead of competing with everyone else for the same opportunities, you create something new that didn't exist before. The biggest mistake people make is assuming this approach is risky. In reality, it is the opposite. Depending on money alone is fragile because it can disappear overnight. Markets change, companies fail, technology replaces roles. But skills, systems, and the ability to build do not vanish. They adapt. When you invest in becoming someone who can create value in any environment, you become anti-fragile. Opportunities begin to find you because you are no longer just looking for money. You are producing something the world actually needs. The world is approaching a moment where the old rules quietly stop working. What felt stable a few years ago is now shifting faster than most people are prepared for. Technology is accelerating. Industries are merging or disappearing, and skills that once guaranteed security are losing relevance. This is why the year ahead is not just another step forward, but a clear turning point. The systems that rewarded routine, obedience, and predictability are being replaced by systems that reward adaptability, learning speed, and original thinking. What makes this shift dangerous is that it happens gradually, then suddenly. People keep playing by yesterday's rules because they worked before, without realizing the environment has changed. Jobs that felt safe become uncertain. Career paths that seemed linear break apart. Comfort turns into vulnerability. This transition is not driven by a single invention or trend, but by the compounding effect of automation, artificial intelligence, and global competition removing the advantage of average performance. Those who recognize a turning point early gain leverage. They stop optimizing for stability and start optimizing for relevance. They invest in skills that grow stronger with change rather than weaker. They question assumptions they were taught to accept. The difference between falling behind and pulling ahead often comes down to timing. In moments like this separate those who react too late from those who reposition before the shift becomes obvious. Working harder has long been treated as the ultimate solution. But effort by itself no longer guarantees results. In a world where tools, technology, and automation amplify output, the real advantage comes from how effort is applied, not how much of it exists. Two people can put in the same number of hours and produce radically different outcomes, because one is creating leverage while the other is trapped in repetition. Effort without direction only leads to fatigue, while effort applied through the right structure multiplies impact. Value is created when work scales beyond the individual. This is why systems, processes, and products outperform raw labor. A single well-designed idea can reach thousands or millions, while hours worked in isolation in the moment the worker stops. When effort is focused on building something that can grow, improve, or be reused, it continues producing results long after the initial work is done. This shift separates those who stay busy from those who move forward. The future rewards people who think about amplification. How can one action create 10 times the result? How can a skill be applied across multiple problems? How can a system reduce dependency on constant input? When effort is paired with leverage, progress compounds instead of resetting each day, and results begin to accelerate without a proportional increase in time or exhaustion. A salary creates the illusion of security, but it also places a ceiling on growth. When income is tied directly to hours worked or a fixed role, progress becomes linear and limited. No matter how skilled or dedicated someone is, their earning potential is constrained by time, approval, and structure they do not control. This is why relying only on a paycheck becomes increasingly fragile in a world that changes quickly. When the system shifts, the salary shifts with it. Skills, on the other hand, compound. A valuable skill improves with use, adapts across industries, and travels with you regardless of where you work. When paired with systems, those skills can create outcomes that scale beyond a single employer. Ownership of processes, ideas, or platforms gives you leverage over time. Instead of starting from zero each month, you build on what already exists. This creates momentum that a salary alone cannot provide. When people focus on developing skills that produce systems, they gain control over their future. They are no longer dependent on permission or position to grow. Their work begins to generate value in multiple directions, opening doors that would never appear through traditional employment alone. And turning time into an asset rather than a constraint. The future does not reward those who wait for perfect conditions or cling to comfort. It rewards people who are willing to step into uncertainty and keep moving while the ground is shifting. Comfort creates stability in the short term, but it slowly weakens the ability to adapt. When challenges are avoided, growth is delayed, and when growth is delayed long enough, it becomes replacement. Progress has always favored those who choose the harder path early instead of the easier path for too long. Builders think differently from observers. They do not wait for guarantees because guarantees rarely exist at the edge of innovation. They learn by doing, adjusting, and failing forward. Every mistake becomes data. Every setback becomes feedback. This mindset turns uncertainty into an advantage rather than a threat. While others hesitate, builders gain experience, insight, and momentum that compounds over time. The pace of change is accelerating, and standing still is no longer neutral. Skills expire, industries evolve, and expectations rise whether individuals are ready or not. Those who actively create, experiment, and refine stay ahead because they are aligned with motion itself. The future belongs to people who are willing to build in imperfect conditions, make decisions without full clarity, and trust their ability to adapt faster than the world around them.